Bibi Fahodier, Black Family, Race First. Welcome to another episode here at the School of Urban Philosophy, where we are always straight up, straight forward, and straight to the point, where the information is used to push us forward as a people. As always, I'm elated. I am your host, Baba Imhotep Fati'u. And as always, it's about that conversation, that uplifting, penetrating dialogue. I welcome any of you, who's listening, to send your questions my way. Make your comments. Engage in this process. Abibi Fahodier, my brother. Abibi Fahodier, as always, is a pleasure, my brother. We're gonna get it in tonight. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna build off of some of the things that were discussed in the last episode last Thursday, and we're going to introduce some new things that need to be discussed, relevant to us as a people, to push us forward. I know currently we are dealing with this highly charged political environment, this political atmosphere, and many of our people are talking about the vote, VOTE, the vote. Who should we vote for? Who should we vote for? That's a major conversation. Many people don't vote for Trump. Don't vote for Kamala Harris. Don't vote for this person. Vote for Trump. Vote for Kamala Harris. We're all over the place as a people. And one of the reasons we are all over the place is because we have descended into an abyss of a lack of consciousness as a people. Our consciousness is really low, principally our political consciousness. So that's the reason why we're all over the place. So let's talk about the vote. Not necessarily any of those individuals, but the vote in general and what the vote is about. Because we need to be very clear that when you're talking about revolution or revolutionary times or upliftment or advancement of a people, every single tool at your disposal must be utilized to push you forward. Whatever instrument that you can grab that's going to push you forward, that's what you should grab to push you forward, provided that you're not compromising any major or vital principles. But any tool, any instrument that can add to the upliftment and the advancement of you as a people, you must learn how to master and utilize. Very simple. That's like people used to say growing up that, man, I wouldn't have lost that fight, man, if he wouldn't have bit me. Listen to that, man. If he wouldn't have bit me, I wouldn't have lost the fight. As if biting, is illegal in a fight. You know what I'm saying? We are fighting. You're trying to harm me. You're trying to hurt me. You're trying to damage me. And you're telling me that I can't bite you to prevent you from doing such to me so that I could win? It's foolishness. And we tend to still think that way today. We don't understand that whatever weapon that you can put your hands on that will push you forward, then you should use it to push you forward. But we should seek mastery of the weapon, seek mastery of the tool. So the vote can be utilized. The vote can be utilized. The vote isn't in and of itself a bad thing. It's how we utilize the vote. Now, let me be very clear, because I know how we are. We look for means and ways to attempt to tear things apart. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that the system in and of itself is for us. That's not what I'm saying when I say the vote can be utilized. What I'm saying is that in the struggle for national liberation, the idea of reform and the idea of revolution, they work hand in hand. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X worked hand in hand. They didn't share the same political or ideological outlook, but they worked hand in hand in terms of their existence and what they stood for and how they operated. The same for Du Bois and Marcus Garvey, right? They worked hand in hand. The same for Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. They worked hand in hand. Both of them serve a purpose in this struggle, we have to understand the dialectical relationship between the two, between reform and revolution. Frederick Douglass and Martin Delany, there's a dialectical relationship between the two. Now, we can each choose the side that we're going to fall on, no doubt. We can choose our path that we're going to pursue, but our path isn't an absolute path. It's not absolute. No path is absolute. Our path is relative. My path is, yes, I'm up that line of Malcolm, Garvey, Delaney, Garnett, Bishop Turner. That's the line that I come out of. That's not an absolute line. I'm very clear that it's not absolute. I'm not necessarily out of the line of Frederick Douglass, Booker T. Washington in the sense of, the reform. I'm not in that line, but I understand the relevancy of their existence in the totality of the struggle. So I understand the relevancy of them in the struggle, because the struggle is dirty. The struggle is real. The struggle has fronts everywhere. You know what I'm saying? There's a battle being fought everywhere in the struggle. There's a battle being fought in the school system. There's a battle being fought inside social service. There's a battle being fought in the courtroom. I may not necessarily be in the courtroom, but because I'm not in the courtroom, I can't say that the battle that's being fought there is insignificant to the struggle. I can't say that. That's wrong. I can't make it as if my battlefront is the absolute and the only battlefront. No. That's a false analysis, and that's not revolutionary. It's a false analysis. We have multiple and many fronts, and we have generals fighting this battle on multiple and many fronts. We need to understand the relationship to all of them. Yes, you choose your line, no doubt, and you stay true to your line. You walk your path. You push the struggle to its logical conclusion of liberation, and you push it hard from your lane. But you must know that your lane is not an absolute lane, it's a relative lane. Seek mastery in your lane, but that doesn't mean that you can't pull from someone else's lane and utilize some of the tools that they're using in their lane. That's like saying that the quarterback can never run the ball, because the quarterback is the quarterback and the running back is the running back. A quarterback can run the ball the same way a running back can throw the ball. But the running back mastery is to run the ball. The quarterback's mastery is to captain the team and throw the ball. But that doesn't say the quarterback can't block for the running back. That's foolishness to think otherwise. And we have to understand it. But this is all a part of developing Black consciousness. This is a part of the consciousness that needs to be developed amongst us as a people to understand the politics of struggle, to understand the politics that's inbred in the idea, in the very concept of a people's struggle is political. It's political through and through and ideological. And we have to understand that. We have to work that hard to develop that. And we have to have these types of conversations. Many people call it political education, which we should be having political education classes to understand what the struggle is, how the struggle moves, when we want to advance, when we want to retreat, when we at a standstill. These things happen. And just because you're on a retreat doesn't necessarily mean you're not winning. Retreat is a strategy of warfare. That's a strategy. Retreat is a strategy. You don't keep running up against a force that you can't overrun and you're just taking blows and just being defeated. No, you retreat to do what? To reassess, recuperate, recalibrate, to rethink things through, to remaneuver yourself. This is the work that we're talking about we want to do. The work is based in consciousness. Historically, we understood this. This is the reason why historically we had the conventions and the conferences, so we can bring together Black men and Black women who were in the struggle to have discussions and dialogue to push the ideological agenda of what the movement was going to look like. We engaged in those things historically. We have to get back to that. We have to get back to that. A lot of us think we don't need that. A lot of us think, well, we don't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? We got Negroes around here now. We got too many Negroes. We discount us out too quickly. We discount us out too quickly. In every single war throughout history, you find collaborators and traders. That's everywhere in all times. So we're never going to find a time period, as long as war is being waged, that you're not going to find some black person or black people that's selling out. That's going to happen. But just because you got black sellouts doesn't necessarily mean that we still can't push for the mass organization of our people. That analysis is wrong. That analysis is wrong. We have to be up for that task. We have to be up for that task. That's a part of the work. You can't say you're in the forefront, but then you detest. Listen, you detest agitation. Agitation is necessary. It facilitates education. Let me break that down. When we create situations and processes that agitates the consciousness of our people, in doing so, we facilitate the process to open up for greater education. Because once the consciousness has been agitated and frustrated, we call people consciousness into question. People begin to rethink what they believe they know. And once we can engage them, because that's part of the revolutionary work, to get out there and to get in the midst of the people, not to stand on the peripheral and make all these grand analysis about what we are, what we're not doing, why we're not doing it. We do too much of that, but you're not even in the midst of that. Right? You can't make no accurate analysis and you're not on the scene, working hand in hand with people. You can't. That's armchair work. That's armchair work. We have to get out of armchair work. Got to get in the midst of our people. Have to get in the midst of our people. Consciousness is what we develop consciousness by creating an environment where thought and dialogue is open and free. Where thought and dialogue is not suppressed. It's open and free, and you create that process. Structured and ordered and respectful, no doubt. But when you can create that with the people, you can develop consciousness, because the people has to be brought into the process. Now I know, because I talk to our people, I'm around our people, and I know in most of these cities in the hood, I know our people, man, is gone. A lot of them are gone. I'm very clear about that. A lot of them are gone. But there are a lot of people amongst those individuals that are able to be engaged and introduced into the movement, because that's when their education is going to begin. That's when their true education is going to begin, when they begin to take part in their own upliftment. That's when their healing starts, when they're taking a part in correcting the ills that impact them. That's when they begin to truly heal, when they are actively involved in repairing the process, repairing themselves, cleaning up their community, building up their community, getting the dirt out the community. That's when they begin to heal, when you can pull them into the process of helping themselves. You can't consistently stand on the sideline and just always make these grand analyses. And we make these grand analyses so sweet sounding, so slick and sophisticated. No. I know from firsthand experience that, yes, the analysis are necessary. But more importantly, the analysis must be grounded in real life experiences. Make your analysis from the field. Make your analysis from the field, not the sideline. From the field, in the midst of the people. You know, it's like somebody trying to report about, hypothetically speaking, let's say the Freddie Gray situation that happened here in Baltimore City. So you have a person that's trying to report about what happened and what's going on, but that person is not at ground zero. That person is on the outskirts. But just because they're here in Baltimore and they watching the news or whatever, they listen to this, that, and other, but they not out there on ground zero. They cannot make an accurate analysis of what's truly happening out there, what's really going on. They can present a superficial analysis. Yes, they can do that. But what do I mean by being in the midst of the people? What do I mean by that? I mean that if you proclaim to be Black nationalist, Pan-Africanist, African-centeredness, revolutionary, and any other title that's supposed to be for the good and the upliftment and advancement of Black people, if you proclaim any of that, you are required to engage with your people. You are required. And the lack of engagement invalidates, let me say that again. The lack of engagement invalidates whatever you claim. The claim has no validity if it's solely theoretical. It has no validity if it's solely theoretical. Your claim can't just be a theoretical claim. It must be a practical claim that's built in struggle, real life, actual struggle. You must get out there and canvass in your communities, pass out your flyers, pass out your brochures, organize in your community, pass out some food, go up there and challenge them schools, help some mothers and grandmothers out with those boys in them schools that's being shoved and shuttled into special education. Get involved. Get involved. You know what's happening. Get out there in those corners and talk to those brothers out there in those corners that's killing themselves over nothing. Get out there and engage them so they can know who you are. Walk by, speak to them. Hello, man, how you doing today? Introduce yourself. That's the work we got to be doing. That's what we have to do. That level of work. Now let's born Allah. Bibi Fahodier, my brother. As always, it's a pleasure and it's a blessing. Continue to do the work that you do, my brother. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. But yes, that's what the work is about. We have to go out there. We have to go out there. I oftentimes says it this way: consciousness is motion. Consciousness is motion. It's not inactivity. You can't profess to be conscious and you stand still. So we got to understand it. Consciousness is not inactivity. It's not immobilization. Consciousness is motion. It's mobile. It's active. Consciousness is proactive. That's what consciousness means, essentially. We got to move past saying, well, you're conscious, you're aware. Got to move past that, you see what I'm saying? Because you can be in a vegetative state and be aware of some things, but consciousness requires you to move, to do something, right? It dictates how you move. The consciousness, it dictates your movement. It allows you to navigate and move in a way that amplifies your existence as a person. Your consciousness does that. Your consciousness protects you. It shows you the way. It's light. That's what your consciousness is. And that consciousness has to be consistently reinforced. Consistently reinforced. There's no plateau for consciousness. You don't say, I'm conscious, and then you sit back like this. No, your consciousness must be consistently reinforced. You must consistently pour into your consciousness, because if you're doing work of any kind, of any magnitude, if you're doing good work, liberational work, sovereignty work, Black nationalist work, then you are in fact expending things, your consciousness, consistently expending consciousness. So therefore, you must consistently do what? Replenish and reinforce. You must grow as you seek to aid and help your people. You must consistently be in a growing, evolving, and developing process to profess to be conscious. You can't say you're conscious and you're not growing. You can't say you're conscious and you keep making the same mistakes. That's not consciousness. That's not consciousness. You got to learn as you move in life. Every moment and every second of your life should render you a different person. Every moment. every second should render you a different person. Why? Because you should consistently be growing and developing. You shouldn't be the same person a year from today, making the same mistakes, contending with the same personal issues. You should have done with those issues and resolved them. Your consciousness should have provided you with the means to resolve the issues. The issues shouldn't persist 12, 13, 15, 18, 24 months later, and yet you're still running around saying you're conscious. That's a contradiction. That's a contradiction. And we're in the time period now where we got to be honest and truthful about what's going on with us. Yeah, we know what the white man have done and what the white man is doing. We're very clear about his role, his perpetual role. But at the same time, it's time for us to highlight some of these deficiencies that we have made behaviors. Some of this stuff is chronic that we're doing. And it's time to assess that stuff and put that stuff under the microscope. Because we have to do what? We have to redeem the movement. We have to redeem it because the Black liberation movement, that's a healing mechanism, man. That's a beautiful thing. But we have allowed individuals, man, to come into it and taint it and do it a disservice. To be engaged in a liberation struggle is to be doing sacred work. And we have allowed individuals, man, to enter into that work, man, and commit sacrilege in the name of Black nationalism, in the name of Pan-Africanism, in the name of Afrocentricity. We have allowed people, man, to disparage what it means to be Black. And we say stuff like, well, you know, the character don't matter to me. You know, I'm just worrying about the message. No, man. If these jokers are out here lying, manipulating our people, robbing our people, misleading our people, selling our people pipe dreams for 15 years, you don't ignore that. You don't become complicit to that by ignoring it. You call it out because your duty in your job, if you revolutionary, if you Black nationalist, if you Pan-Africanist, your duty is to raise the consciousness. At least that's part of your duty, to raise the consciousness of your people. And in raising their consciousness, make them aware of these charlatans when you see these charlatans and these demagogues and these rabble-rousers. Don't sit back and turn a deaf ear to them and say, well, their conduct and their behavior doesn't matter. It does matter. It does matter, because when a person is hurt by those individuals, they throw a blanket on the whole movement. They throw a blanket on the entire movement. Brother Jamal, Abibi Fahodier. Brother Obafemi, my brother. Pine Bluff, brother. Abibi Fahodier, race first. Kwame. Abibi Fahodier, Kwame, race first, Hotep. Glad you can tune in. But we're talking about Black consciousness, which is national consciousness, which is mass consciousness. Mass consciousness is going to grow out of mass struggle. And mass struggle is going to come from the level of our consciousness. We're going to move based on where we at consciousness. It's simple as that. It's a basic equation. If the consciousness is low, then the motion going to be low. Because remember what I just said, consciousness is motion. It dictates how you move, when you move, and why you move. How, when, and why. Consciousness does that for you. And when you don't have the consciousness, you don't move because you don't understand how to move, and you don't know why you should move. So you stand still. You don't know what to do when the consciousness is not there, principally in this context, when the political consciousness is not there. When the political consciousness is not there, there is no motion. So we can talk about, you see what I'm saying, the time periods, and we can talk about, you know, there's no motion, there's no movement. We can highlight all those things, which is true, which are true. But at the same time, we just can't highlight it. We have to also explain why there is no motion. There's no motion because those of us who say we know, we're not out there injecting consciousness into the inactivity to agitate it, to stir it up so it can begin to move. That's why there's no motion. We don't go out there. We stay in the house. We stay in the house or stay inside our institutions, our buildings, our mosques, temples, or community centers or universities, and we just talk. We do, Facebook lives. We post on Facebook. We build these fancy YouTube channels. You know that. Those of you who are fancy at doing those things, that's what we do. And sit back and talk about why there's no movement. We don't, but you can't disconnect consciousness from the idea of movement. You cannot do that. When you disconnect consciousness from movement, you've already made a mistake. You've already made a mistake. The movement follows the consciousness. Excuse me. Let me say it again. Movement follows consciousness the same way unity follows consciousness. So we're not going to have a unification of Black people without consciousness. So we can say this all day long, man. We just need to get together. We say that a lot. And when people say that reveals how much studying we have done. Because if you really study and you understand, we just not going to wake up tomorrow and get together. That's just not going to happen. So we can say that all day long, man, we need to get together. We need to get. You can say that. And even though I am for Black unity, without a doubt, but I got enough sense to know that Black unity isn't going to happen like that. Black unity is going to require what? Struggle following consciousness, right? It's going to require that. So it's going to require us to get together, do some studying, do some ideological struggles so we can clear out some things and get some clarity together and build some type of solidarity, and then we can produce some type of unity. That's going to take some work. And a lot of us not up for that type of work. We automatically write that off. We say, well, I ain't for that. Right? That ain't going to do nothing. We automatically write it off. But that's an essential part of the process. It's like doing a division problem, but you're saying you don't want to do the subtraction when you get to the part that says you have to subtract. And you say, I ain't doing the subtraction, man. Bump all of that. From my understanding, you're not going to be able to complete a division problem. At least you're not going to get it accurately. And so I'm trying to get people to understand, like, we cannot skip that part of this work. That part can't be skipped of this work. We have to get together. So that's the reason why I put out the call 4 years ago. And I said, we need a national race first convention. A national race first convention where we can get together. Those of us who say we are leaders that's doing the work. Let's get together. And let's iron out some things in terms of how we should be getting down. What is the principal means of this struggle that we're going to abide by? So we can at least begin that type of level of conversation. But when we're not doing that, we don't go anywhere. We don't go anywhere as a people. And and that's why things are real slow now. And that's why a lot of people, spirits are low and their spirits are dampened. Because we are looking for something to occur that we must build. But a lot of us don't understand that we must be the builders and the creators of what we are looking for. So we're looking for, the mass motion, the mass movement, but we don't recognize and realize that was, when that existed because people created that. They created the atmosphere. Yes, the conditions played a part, but the conditions are still here. We just have to make the people aware of the conditions. The conditions may have been more overt at one period of time, but the conditions are the same. We're not living in any less oppressive or exploitative times than 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years ago. The conditions are still here. We just have to get out there and become more active and creative in helping our people understand these conditions. Help them understand misdirected aggression, of how oftentimes we killing each other, not necessarily because I'm mad at you, because I'm mad at something else. I'm mad because I'm broke. I'm broke because of this system. But I don't know that the system is the reason why I'm broke. So therefore, when you bump into me or you look at me or you say something that I think that you shouldn't be saying, I'm ready to just tear your entire head off because I'm angry and I'm mad. It just so happened you is the closest thing to me, and you look like me, so you catch it. You get it. And that's what's going on. The same with the relationships. Our relationships are struggling because we always beefing about finances, but that economic strain on your relationship is directly related to the economic strain that's on us as a people. Your relationship isn't separate from us as a people. So what your relationship feel is what we're feeling as a people. And as long as we can't make that level of connection, we're going to consistently argue and fight each other. And then you what? You get divorced. You go your own way. And then before you know it, you start saying things like, but I don't want to be with no black man. Or black men don't know how to do this, that, and the other. And then the black man says, well, I don't want no black woman. I want me a white woman, right? And then we start coming up with these crazy ideas. Why? Because our consciousness is just not there. We're unaware of what's really happening. So we can ration, we can use reason, and we begin to use their logic, white logic, to make sense of issues that white people have created in our lives. We use their logic to make sense of the issues that they've created for us. And when you use their logic to make sense of their issues, your end result is going to always be in favor of them, never in favor of yourself, never in the best interest of yourself. You will believe it's in the best interest of yourself. You will, in fact, believe that, and you will reap minimal benefits to a degree. The illusion is real. The illusion is real, and you will begin to revel in that illusion, and you will consistently tell yourself that, oh man, it's beautiful. This is great. I'm glad I made this decision. You will begin to tell yourself all those things, but the more and more you buy into the illusion and give the illusion, you know what I'm saying, a real life, the further you are removed from who you are as a person. The further you are removed from yourself, from the essence of yourself. And that person, that thing that the boys talked about, the double consciousness, begins to manifest in you that deeply. You consistently at war with yourself. Because a part of you will know that you're betraying yourself. A part of you will know that you are betraying yourself. And you will go that much more harder within yourself to convince yourself that you're not betraying yourself. So that war will be going on. It'll be going on. It'll be a serious war that's taking place. A serious war taking place inside of us. But why am I bringing this up, black man and black woman? Why do we need to hear this? Why do we need to have this conversation? We need to talk about what it means to be black. We need to talk about what it means to be black because black has come under attack. It has come under attack. And we're quick to attack it. We're quick to say what it isn't, what others say, right? And we got these sophisticated theories out here. These sophisticated theories out here that people are utilizing to attack black. And at the core of what we are, at the core of who we are, is black. Like we have been convinced, that black is bad. But black is the most beautiful thing in existence because existence, as we know and understand it, is birthed out of blackness. It's birthed out of blackness. The metallic black, it comes out of that. The noon, it comes out of that. Nothing is before it. And we are directly related to it. There's a power there. There's a power there that this society wants us to neglect and abandon. So that's why it's so important that we focus in on consciousness, which links back to my discussion from last week when I was emphasizing education. They're not separate conversations, consciousness and education, because our educational process will in fact develop our consciousness. So when we talk about an educated people, we're talking about a politically conscious people. That's what we're talking about. When we talk about national consciousness, you're talking about political awareness. That's what we're talking about. And those things are essential, are crucial, are critical to the work that needs to be done. We can get our communities under control, one community at a time. One community at a time. All it takes is black men and black women that has the consciousness to understand the necessity of community control, community politics. That's it. And go into your community and control your community. That's it. Show up in your community, cleaning your community up, making sure that strangers are not just roaming in and out your community. Walking out into your community, being out in your community, walking around, being visible, speaking to your neighbors, speaking to the young people that's out there. Now, granted, I know some parents don't want their child speaking to who they think are strangers, but if you see these little children, hey, how you doing? The little brothers on the corner, how you doing today? I'm Mr. So-and-so, I live down the street, right? Something as simple as that will begin to change the mentality in your community. Because the communities exist the way they exist because we have retreated from our communities. We have left the community vacant to be overrun with those elements that most of us, if not all of us, deplore. Right? We have to do that work, one community at a time. One community at a time, which is based in consciousness. It's the consciousness of the people. A beautiful ODA. It's the consciousness. We have to raise consciousness, talk about it, develop it. We have to educate ourselves, educate our people, make them aware who they are, who we are, where we come from. What are our unique talents and skills, that's specific to us as a people. Like, we're not everybody that's out here running around. We're not white people. We're not Chinese people. We're not Japanese people. There's things that are unique and specific to us as a people. And we need to know what those things are. Like, there's energy in us. There's a vibrancy and a dynamism and a rhythm that exists within and runs through us like none other. Like none other. And when we understand that exists within us and we begin to tap into it, to understand it and utilize it, we change things. We change things. That's the reason why the flavor in this society that we currently in, the United States, there is no flavor in this land without us. There is no music in this land without us. That the art of music is us. And we have to understand, I don't care what they say. They can't deny what I'm saying. I don't make stuff up. I don't talk to just be talking. I speak truth and facts. Anything I say, you can go verify it if you want to go do the work. There is no music in this land without us. Erase us, there's no music. There is no rhythm. There's no dynamism. There's no vibrancy. There's no flavor. Like, the complexity in terms of the flavor is us. It's us. I said it the last time. Think about it. Go look at the 70s. What was that car show used to come on? The Dukes of Hazzards, right? And they had the white girl Daisy wearing those shorts. But the shorts she wore were shorts that black women were already wearing. See, the concept of wearing shorts like that, they was worn by black women already, coming out of the late 60s and early 70s, right? So they put them on a white girl, and then before you know it, that becomes the name of the shorts, Daisy Dukes, right? Shorts. Bull crap. That's us. Like, even with the stonewashed clothes, you know what I'm saying? The stonewash is coming from us because we did what? We had to excessively wash our clothes. Excessively wash our clothes. And sometimes, we didn't know what we was doing. We bleached them. We put bleach on denim. Start wearing that stuff. People saw it, it became a fashion. You know what I'm saying? Even the used jeans as a designer jean come from us because what? We had holes and rags in our clothes, but we always wore our clothes with pride. We wore with pride. We were bop. You know what I'm saying? Our women still walk with the audacity and the attitude in those clothes. They didn't walk with their head down. They didn't feel like they was ashamed. You know what I'm saying? They still walk upright. We did that. And they saw us doing that. And they did what? They created the used jeans and they created the damage. Right? That's all of us. And I'm going to keep running it down, man. Like, we are the creativity. We're the flavor. We're the dynamism. We're the rhythm. We're the vibrancy. Without us, it dies. And we have to reclaim that about us. We have to reclaim it. And we can only reclaim it when we develop and raise our consciousness high enough to understand who we are. To understand who we are. We have to reclaim our identity. All of what I just got finished talking about, that's all blackness. Even down to doing the nails and the fingernails, the pedicure and the manicure. Black women. Black women. Even now we got to take our clothes to Chinese people, to the Chinese cleaners now, right? Because what we've got away from the cleaners. The cleaners was the black businesses in the black community. Cleaners was us. Was us. You know, cleaning, you know, industrial cleaning inside the homes with black people. My mother done that stuff for years. It was us. And now we retreated from that. So now we got a group of people that's coming in and they've turned it into a $1 billion industry, right? Following behind us. Following behind us, man. That stuff is us. True. Get used. Major damage. Skids. Cross cover. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's us. That's us. That's the beauty and the power of blackness. See, black is that. See, black is that. And that's what they don't want you to understand. So don't let nobody make you think that black is bad. You're trying to escape being black. No. All of those stuff is black. Only blackness produces that. Blackness produces that. Now, they might say, well, you talking about, you talking about clothes, Baba. Man, no, go to the other side. Go to the other side. Go to the mathematics. Go to the mathematics. It's us. Go to engineering. It's us. One of that. Go to that. It's us, man. Dr. Charles Drew, right? The blood plasma. Right? That's us. That's our work that they're using. Garrett Morgan. Right? That's us, the gas mask. That's us, man. So we can go on and on and on and on. Like, we are the flavor. We are the rhythm. We are the vibrancy. We are the dynamism. But we will not tap into it and utilize it if we don't know these things. We don't know this is who we are. And that's the reason why I will never retreat from the battlefield of striving to raise the consciousness of Black people. Never will I retreat from that battlefield, because I know that once the consciousness is raised in the proper way, we will revolutionize the world. First, by revolutionizing Africa. So I will never retreat from the battlefield, because I know exactly who we are, and I understand the power of who we are, and I know that if we can get all of us to understand it, we can get a whole lot of stuff done. Because we produced the science of the philosophy of humanism. That's African people, Black people. That's Black people. We didn't have to call it humanism. I remember, like I said, Kenneth Kaunda, was talking about that. Yeah, we got a book out. I think his book is called A Humanist in Africa, something to that degree. But if you read the book, he says it in the book. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I have to call myself a humanist to understand that this is who I am and this is what we do as a people. Right? Humanism and all the other terms that you can think of. Metaphysics. We didn't have to say we were metaphysicians. We had to say that. We already understood, that there was a reality beyond this material reality, and we sought to understand the principles and the properties of that reality. We didn't have to say we were metaphysicians to do that. We just knew that was a natural way of being for us. So we never saw, the material world as being the end all be all, where to even think of something beyond the material world was exciting to us. No, we had already come past that. Thousands of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years ago, our people had already advanced past it. So we knew that the material world wasn't the only existence that we shared as a people. We knew we existed simultaneously. So we didn't have to say we were metaphysicians. We didn't have to use the term and say, well, we're a philosopher. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you don't find the stuff laying around saying, well, this particular philosopher, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You didn't find that, you know what I'm saying, hundreds of years ago, because we didn't have to do that. Because those things were natural. That way of that mode of thought was natural, was a part of our educational development. It was a part of being who we were. It was a part of being human. to evolve at such a high rate. We just did that. We didn't have to call ourselves, storytellers. We told stories all the time. We didn't have to say, he's a narrator. We have to say that. We did that all the time. Naturally, it was a part of the socialization, part of the culture, but part of the community. So my point is, the point that I'm trying to make is that we are the beautiful thing that's standing in the world. We are the beautiful thing standing in the world. We are the it factor. We are the superior being. Now I know that shakes a lot of people up when they hear that. We are the superior being standing in the material world. And I don't say we the superior being in comparison to anybody else, because this statement is not contingent upon a comparison. This statement is based on an actual fact that Black people stood in the world first for the longest time. And all of the major achievements that we still build on today, we laid the foundation for way, way, way back when. So we are the superior being standing in the world. We don't have nothing to compare ourselves to but us. The only comparison that we have is ourselves. That's it. And we got to be very clear about that and stop being afraid to speak that truth, because that can't be denied. You can't deny that. You can't even refute what I just said, because science won't support it, but science will support the fact that we stood in the world first for a very long time, and we laid the foundation to the arts and the sciences as we know them today. That makes us superior by far. Everything else that we got in the world today is being built on the basis of listen, let me say it like this. Everything else that's here in the world today is built on the basis and the foundations of the things that we laid. Simple as that. Like, we laid down the basic foundation to the mathematical science. We laid it down. Everything else is built on that. We laid the foundation and you build on it. We're not saying that people can't add to. You can add to. You know what I'm saying? But we'd already mapped this stuff. We'd already mapped out, you know what I'm saying, the celestial spheres. We had already mapped it out. We knew about what was taking place up there. So yeah, you can build on it all you want. We are who we are. And we're going to claim that consistently and always. But it's the duty of the revolutionary. It's the duty of the Pan-Africanists, the African-centered brother, the Black nationalists. It's our duty to raise the consciousness of our people, man. To raise the consciousness of our people. And that's the work we got to do. That's our work. WSK King. I wish I could break that down, but I don't follow a lot of abbreviations, so I'm lost to that one. But what I will say, I will say peace for tuning in, for showing up. I appreciate that. But if you don't mind, interpret that for me. But yes, we are the best, man. It's nothing like us. It's nothing like us. But we got to get our consciousness up. We got to get it up. We got to get in these study groups. We got to attend these classes. We got to read these books, man. We got to get it up. We got to assess ourselves. We got to build our discipline. We got to make some radical changes about who we are. We got to do these things. We can't sit back and not do it. We can't not do the work. We got to do the work, Black man and Black woman. Get in the study class. Become a part of an organization. Now, let me clarify what I mean. Because there are a lot of bad organizations out here. A whole lot of bad organizations that's not fit nor qualified to aid your growth and development. So therefore, they should not even be thought about. But there are a lot of good organizations out here that are fit and qualified to aid your growth and development. PLM, Pan-African Liberation Movement, based out of Baltimore City, is one such organization. We are fit and qualified to aid you in your growth and development and to deepen and expand your consciousness. So the organization that you join, become a part of, make sure that its leadership, it's a qualified leadership, and make sure that its leadership stands by the things that it speaks and talks about. Look for that. Make sure they're true to that. But we need to be in an organization. We need to be a part of some type of study group. We just can't keep being out here, by ourselves, rolling solo dolo and picking up bits and pieces of information from here. That's what we want to do. We shy away from organized structure because we don't want the accountability. But we need that level of challenge. We need that level of challenge. That's what's going to allow us to get better. Like, so go in there. Don't be afraid of it. Go in there and submit to the accountability. Submit to the structure. Submit yourself to that structure. You know, put yourself in that process and let that organization do what it's designed to do, right? To aid and develop you in your consciousness. Don't keep standing on the sideline, right? Don't throw a blanket on organization. Don't say I'm done with organization. No, all us ain't bad out here. A lot of us are true to the cause, you know. But we need, as a people, we need to get on top of our consciousness, and we gotta make that a priority, right? The consciousness has to begin to develop. It has to develop, and we got to be about developing that consciousness. So let me stop there for a few, just to see first off, I did a lot of talking for like 45 minutes. So please, if you haven't already liked this video, please like this video. Like the video. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to this channel. Do that right now. Subscribe and like this video and share the video. Share this video. You know, a lot of great content is in this video and the other videos that are on the channel. We need to get this content out to as many people as possible, which is going to require, you know, your assistance. You know, I'm going to put our website in the chat, you know, so you can have the website. It's the website right there. It's in the chat, www.plm95.org. Check out the website. Check out the organization. Here's our Cash App. Any event that you want to support if you want to support a good cause, please do so. You know, no amount is too small. You know, if you want to support a good cause, if you don't worry about it. No big deal. I'm just putting it out there just in case. But at the end of the day, what my message and my stress is that we work hard to develop and expand our consciousness. You know, let's read, let's study, let's question what we're reading, let's develop our our comprehension. Let's do those things. Any questions? Anyone out there have any questions you want to put to me? Put to the floor. Any comments, any statements, anything you would like to make, add to the discussion? Now is your time. Even if you want to come on, even if you want to come on for free with me, I'm gonna put that link in the chat. You know, so yeah, even if you want to pop on, you can pop on. There's the link. If you have any questions, any comments, now is the time, or any statements, please do so. Give you a few seconds. See who can send me a question or a comment. Or y'all just want to keep listening to Bob and Hotep talk. Let me know what you want to do. How we want to go. How we going to drive this thing, black man and black woman? Talk to me. Let me see. Let me call somebody out so I can get my brother. Black meaning African power. What you got to add, my brother? Add on. Add on. We got us a quiet crew tonight. Say, keep speaking, huh? Okay, my brother. I'll keep it going, man. You know, I love it. Just 1 second. So we're talking about consciousness and raising consciousness. We're talking about moving the people, because earlier I spoke about how consciousness and motion are one and the same. Consciousness and motion is the same. Now, the motion is mass struggle. That's the motion is mass struggle, because we're trying to, you know, we're trying to incite mass movement with mass struggle. And mass struggle follows mass consciousness, and mass consciousness is national consciousness. And remember early on, I said national consciousness is Black consciousness. So at the core of this mass struggle is Black consciousness. Now, this Black consciousness, it has to be deep and intense. It can't be surface. Deep and intense Black consciousness will, in fact, with time, incite mass struggle. Right? We will get the people in that whirlwind and get them moving. We will get that thing popping and bopping the way we needed to get it to popping and bopping, so we can change some of the current issues that have become chronic within our community and within ourselves. There are some things that are real chronic that we have to eliminate. And one of the things that hurts my heart daily, that's chronic, is the miseducation of Black children. That's a sad sight, man. That is a sad sight. I hate to see it. I hate to see it. And I can tolerate almost any of the mess that's being dumped on top of us. I can tolerate the dope fiend on the corner. I can tolerate the drug dealer. I can tolerate the sister that's half naked. I can tolerate a lot of stuff, man. But the one thing, man, that hurts and breaks my heart is the miseducation of Black children. I cannot tolerate that one. Because our children, man, are the pride and joy of us as a people, man. They are, man, they are a blessing to us. They are a gift to us. And we should do everything in our power to ensure that they are properly educated. Everything in our power to ensure that. There shouldn't be not one thing that we're not willing to do to make sure that these babies, man, are not properly educated. And I've been working with Black children, man, for almost 20 years, but young people in general for 25 years. For 25 years, man. Actually longer than that. You know, since 1995. That's when I started working with young people. But the children, you know, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, you know what I'm saying? From 2006. That's when I started working with them. You know, and I run into all type of issues with the parents. But I understand why the parents where they are, because they got their own issues. They got all this other stuff that's going on in their lives. So because those things is going on in their lives, the education of their child falls to the bottom of the ladder. It's not at the front of their minds. And the children suffer. Black children can't read, can't do math, can't count, right? You ask them a basic question about money, it can't even count, but yet they want to go to the store. Like it's sad. It hurts me. So my point is this: that education is organically linked to our consciousness. So our efforts to raise consciousness is the same effort to what? Educate ourselves. So the education of Black people will directly impact the consciousness of Black people. So in every major organization, there should be an educational component. Every Black organization should be concerned with educating Black people. Every Black organization. Even if that education has to be specific to a skill. Educate Black people. Do not engage Black people and not concern yourself with the education of Black people. You're doing them a disservice. Will there be a race first rally in the year 2025? As of to date, the race first rally for 2025 is on, and it is scheduled to happen. It is on, and it is scheduled to happen. I'll also be having I'm going to get an early flyer out before 2025 even come in. There will be a flyer being circulated. You know, anybody out there who want to help and, you know, give to that particular cause, you know, I'm gonna make sure you know how to do that. But yes, it's on and popping. We're gonna get it in. We're gonna get that in, and I'm still planning also for 2025 to do the National Race First Convention. So the rally and the convention, as of to date, is scheduled to happen. It's gonna require a lot of organizing to pull it off, but it is scheduled as of right now. To answer your question, you know, hopefully, my brother, I'll see you at both. You know, don't send me no message talking about I can't make it because I'm cutting grass. I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? Because you asked for the rally, I need to see you at the rally, my brother. No, I'm just joking. I know you always show up. You always there, man. And I appreciate the support. I appreciate the support. You know. But yeah, I wanted to put the emphasis on consciousness. You know, it's 10 o'clock. You know, it's time for me to get up off of here, you know, bring this thing to a close. Hopefully I've said something that, you know, in fact, let's do this, you know, because I know y'all been pretty quiet tonight. Before we get out of here, man, let me know. Let me know what you thought tonight's presentation was like. And talk to me real quick. Let me know, man. On a scale of 1 to 10, let me know how I'm doing. I need y'all to, you know, be my evaluators, man. On a scale of 1 to 10, man. What was the message? Was it a good message? Was it timely? Was it on point, man? Did it touch you? Did it move you? Did it make you think? Did it do anything for you? You know, just let me know in the comments for the next 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes to get those in. Let me know, black man and black woman. Don't leave me hanging. 13, 14 of y'all on here. So let me see 14, 13 responses, if possible. I know we pretty greedy. Flavor Brothers, okay. I'm just coming on to the end, but I truly stand firm with you about education. Great. Appreciate that. Consciousness is directed by motion. No, you got it in reverse. Consciousness dictates motion. The motion don't dictate the consciousness. The motion follows the consciousness. The consciousness is going to dictate how we're going to move. Thanks, Jamal. I appreciate that. Elewa, appreciate that, my brother. Shegu, thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks. Appreciate that clarity. I like that word clarity. Like that word clarity. So that's like I say, make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel. If you haven't liked this video, like this video and share this video before we get out of here. And make sure you show up next week. And I want to give away 3 books next week. The first 3 people that can come on next week and tell me what tonight's discussion was about, you're going to get a book. All I'm going to ask you for is to inbox me your mailing address, and I'm going to send you a book if you're outside of Baltimore City. So next week, I need you to let me know what tonight's discussion was about. The first 3 people that can tell me that, you get a book. It may not necessarily be the book that I wrote, but it's going to be a book. It's going to be something that's good. I love giving away books to people, man, because I believe we need to build our consciousness. And one of the ways we're going to do that is through developing consciousness. Well, let's see what you say next week, Jamal. See if you can remember. If you can remember that next week, you might be winning your book, my brother. But, okay. As always, this is a blessing to be with my people, to come before you and share this message. Well, let's see how you do next week. Let's see how you do next week. So here at the Urban School of Philosophy, it's time for us to sign off. As always, we are straight up, straightforward, and straight to the point. Looking forward to building all you people next week. People for Hodie and race first.